Hey, it is Nurse Tanya coming to you live. Um, it's kind of an odd time for me to get on and share, but this is me being super honest and super real. And I'm kind of documenting this just as much for myself as I am for the share community of somebody who might learn from it. So today, I 100% look like I feel. I don't look too good and I do not feel too good. And that is exactly why I'm coming on live. So if you watch any of my videos anywhere, if you've been a client, if you've been around me, you are pretty aware that I have a thing about proton pump inhibitors and how they can mess you up. So it's been coming on. I can't say that I got feeling this crappy all at once, and it's totally self-inflicted, like totally self-inflicted. So today, really escalated. Lucky for me, I had an appointment already to go and see one of my favorite chiropractors. He's kind of retired, and I have a hard time getting to him. This video might seem choppy, and I might be running around here and there because hopefully I'll use some of these little clips later on to do some smaller, shorter, like TikTok informational videos. So anyway, it's been building for weeks. I have not been feeling right in my gut, in my upper belly. And like I've done so many things right, and then here I am still doing so many things wrong. And that's why I'm documenting it. Um I am just super queasy right now, like super nauseous. I had for a solid 2 years really was gluten and dairy free. I had done food allergy testing, and it said to stay away from it, and I really did. And then in January, I had done so much healing and I was feeling so good that I thought, well, I'm going to try eating gluten and dairy again. Not all day, every day, live by that 80-20 rule. We talk a lot about 80-20. 80% of the time, stay away from it. 20% of the time, try it. And like I said, I wasn't having symptoms really in the last few weeks. So I have a history of a hiatal hernia. So that is how I got on the down proton pump inhibitors in the first place. So, proton pump inhibitors, my body was really reminding me of how bad this can hurt and why proton pump proton pump inhibitors are a tool that people get hooked on because it does help in that flare up. So, um, I was really having uncomfortableness on my sternum bone and my xiphoid process, and then kind of right under my xiphoid process, like that's that little triangle bone right under your rib cage, and then right under that, like I could feel a lump in like my stomach, and it was miserable. So I knew that I was in trouble, and I didn't mechanically feel like I had the skills to fix it myself. I should have looked it up. I should have. But anyway, like I said, I'm glad that it didn't work out. I was gonna go to my satellite office or my satellite clinic area and see clients this weekend, and with the weather, I didn't. And I'm glad because it was not my perky self all weekend. And anyway, I had already had intentions of stopping in on the way home and seeing my favorite chiropractor because I knew that a good adjustment could really do a lot for this crap hiatal hernia issue that I had going on. So I did go see him today, and he helped me out so much. I think I'm gonna feel awesome tomorrow. I still don't feel awesome today, but that lump is gone. I can tell he got that hernia released. He showed me how to maintain it and how to do it myself. But going back to what was the problem in the first place? Why did it flare up? Me I'm the problem because I went back to eating foods that my body does not like. I preach it all day long. Those foods are inflammatory, and why I thought I could live in 80/20 and get away with it, I thought I was healthy enough. I thought I was healed enough. And today was just a good reminder that I've been feeling really good because of what I've been doing. And then I'm at home. I don't have all my tools right now, so I'm gonna muscle test myself tomorrow. I am pretty sure that I also got some H. pylori flare ups. So, and just my intuition is saying my body wants some golden seal and para 2. I'm going to just rest today and get my tools at the shop tomorrow and do some muscle testing and see what my body wants. But like it's just kind of a big deal, and it makes me feel like it makes me feel like a huge hypocrite. It really does. So if you follow me at all, you'll know you're never gonna get anything but honest truth, the ugly truth, even when I'm just, freshly went and soaked in an Epsom salt bath and trying to get myself feel better, you know, I'll tell you when we're celebrating, I'll tell you when I'm having low times. And the point is that I wanna help you. So when I was a young adult, I got so much heartburn because of this hiatal hernia. And I just went the medical route, to try to take care of it, which got me on proton pump inhibitors for probably 15, if not 20 years. And it was super, super hard getting off of them. And just with me thinking I could live healthy and whole and do whatever I want for since January for the last 4 months, 3 months, that's all it took for me to regress so far in my health. But praise the Lord, I'm smart enough not to let it go any further. And I've got some really different tools in my toolbox this time around. I see there's a couple of people that watching that's really awesome. And I don't know if I'm smart enough to figure out where you're at. If you want to throw me comments, that would be cool. Let me see if I can see comments. No comments. So, um, I do want to throw out a couple of tools now so I don't forget. So, this morning I was feeling super, super rough. I went to bed feeling rough. Yesterday I did a 24-hour fast on just bone broth. Actually, I like to do that every couple of weeks for spiritual reasons and for, just because it's really good for your stomach to just rest it. And then when I ended up having to break the fast because I just really felt rough and my stomach, how you feel like when you think you like food will help, that's kind of how I felt. So, I went to bed feeling really rough and I woke up feeling even rougher. And I did throw up. So, this morning I used that tool that's a baking soda burp test. And I want to throw that out there. I'll probably like caption out this video later on. Even though it's a raw Tanya looks like hell video. But the baking soda burp test is okay. So one, you don't want to use Arm& Hammer baking soda, well, for anything really. It has got toxins in it. Those like anti-cake stuff are yucky. So the only baking soda you should have in your house is organic with no fillers or with no caking ingredients or whatever. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. But for us heartburn people, um, most of the time in all my platforms, on all my videos, I say a person does not have too much heartburn or too much stomach acid, like rare. It's super rare that someone actually has too much stomach acid. But there is kind of an easy at-home way of testing to see where you're at with that. I am not cowgirl enough to just put the baking soda in water and drink it, especially when I'm nauseous. Like, I just can't do it. So I just take in just those empty veggie caps and put the baking soda in there and swallow it. And the kind of rule is, I guess I'm not even sure how much to tell you, like a tablespoon maybe of baking soda. I don't know. I just filled 2 of those capsules. This morning I only filled one because I was just super nauseous. Um, the kind of golden rule with that is if you take baking soda and within a few minutes, like 5 minutes, you burp, there is stomach acid there. And it's because the soda and the acid mixes and this chemical reaction happens and it makes you burp. So this morning I burped right away and then was burpy for hours after I had done that baking soda. So this morning that hiatal hernia was pushing up on my esophagus enough that it was stomach acid present and too much of it. It was bothering me. So I knew not to take any HCl or take any apple cider vinegar. At that point, that would have made it worse. It would have been counterproductive. So, what did I do? I don't know. I was so miserable. Um, and to get to the favorite chiropractor I wanted to see was 2.5 hour drive. And luckily enough, my daughter-in-law and the kids were going too, so she drove and we got there and like I say, he mechanically adjusted me. I had a rib out, a high rib really out too that had been driving me crazy. So I wish in our area, maybe there is, if you live in my area in Sydney, Williston, and you know of a chiropractor that will do like digestive adjustments, like they're priceless. And my chiropractor that did that for me, he doesn't do like functional medicine. So, but that part I can do on my own. I can do my own muscle testing. I can figure out herbally, what I got going on. If I do have bacteria running rampant in there, which I really kind of think I do. So, like I said, I'm going to address that tomorrow. I'm not going to run into my office and get my muscle testing kit supplies. I just don't feel like it. But I'm pretty sure my body is telling me, my intuition is telling me that I want some golden seal. And I do believe I've got a couple of products um, with golden seal, and I think I want para too. So back to back to the burp test. Now tonight when I got home, I did that burp test again to see where my stomach acid was at after he had done that mechanical hiatal hernia adjustment. So I did that again tonight and no burp. So I just laid down and really was wallowing in my pity party. And then after that burp test, and I could have probably benefited from some apple cider vinegar at that point tonight or some butane, but I just don't feel like it. I'm just too freaking nauseous to drink apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to run it out. I'm going to ride it out. Another thing that I want to share that I did do that it gave me some relief. I'm a Young Living essential oils, but a lot of your essential oils lines, where's my camera, will have a stomach like digestion type supplement. I keep this one handy and I keep a little roller end on it. So like I will put that right in my belly button and then make a big circle around. And I do believe that the frequencies of these oils gave me some relief. Then I got in the bathtub with some Epsom salt and dropped this in it as well. So I'm still just like refluxy. But that darn hiatal hernia and that darn proton pump inhibitors. Like I say, I'm super glad that I had tools in place. But this was a super good reminder of how miserable this is and how a person gets stuck in the medical system with either thinking that you need a surgeon to fix this problem or that you need proton pump inhibitors. Like it's just, it makes me sad. It really does. It makes me sad. Let's see. Somebody did comment. How much is my service and what all can you help with? Hey, Jacob. I am an RN that has divorced the medical field. So, My initial patient consult, I can do virtually or in person, and it's $200. And then we work together to try to figure out what's going on with you. Right now, live at this point, I'm studying quantum muscle testing. I do in-person muscle testing, but I'm still studying the quantum end of it. So it won't be long. Give me a few months and I'll feel confident that I can do the muscle testing online. But there's a lot that we can do, um, whether we muscle test or not. I do use a lot of functional tests as well. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a functional practitioner, but I've been trained on the functional side. So I do a lot of labs, blood work, stool, urine, to test for function in the body. Like for me, my recent stool test was so good compared to the one that I did a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I had just a ton of bad bacteria and candida in my liver was terrible. My digestive enzymes were terrible. And, I retested that not too long ago, and it looked amazing compared to what it was a couple years ago. I still had high inflammation in my stomach, which again goes back to knowing better. I know better than to eat these inflammatory foods, and I don't know. I guess I guess everybody's a work in progress. I just thought 80/20 I should be able to do in moderation. My body, um, doesn't like moderation. Another bad thing that I have been doing that I think has led to this hiatal hernia and this predicament, that awful feeling that I've got going on right now, is a drink I was drinking. So I was drinking a little carbonated beverage called Bubbler, and my body was kind of pointing me down the direction of this thing is bothering, this thing is burning your belly, this thing is bothering you. And I can't right now off the top of my head tell you what ingredients. It's one of the like sugar alcohols in it that is, it's just shitty for you, and it's really bad if you've got gut issues or gut bacteria issues. So, you know, slap myself and move on. Like I am my most difficult, half-assed, non-compliant client ever. But it's always growth, it's always learning, and it's always honesty. I've got to be honest in my wins, I've got to be honest in my losses. And that's just the thing about our wellness is when we get feeling good, we forget how we got there. We take for granted the process, and you start to feel like a superhero. You start to think that you can just do what you want, and then your body reminds you of what you really feel like when you do what you want and you don't mind your p's and q's. So that's where I'm at now. Like I said, tomorrow I need to get to work. I was just so fortunate that because of that travel, I didn't have any clients scheduled, so I didn't have to call anybody off and tell them that I was a terrible example of a wellness practitioner. So tomorrow I've got clients coming in and I'm gonna feel good. I feel good about it. I think probably I haven't really decided, but I think for a few days, I'm just gonna do a liquid fast and give my stomach a break. I got some from Paleo Valley, like a warm mushroom type. It's not got coffee in it, but it's like a warm. You do it with warm water, or maybe I'll do coconut milk. But it's got reishi mushroom, lion's mane, a bunch of the mushrooms in it, and then it's got ginger, turmeric, and cinnamon. So I think that would feel really good to my gut in this break that it needs. So I'm kind of thinking for a couple of days, I'm just gonna rest, do some bone broth, do a little bit of that drink, and give my gut a rest. I do absolutely believe in the power of fasting and the power of regeneration in your stomach lining. It's I think it's like 72 hours or so. Your stomach lining is completely shed out and regenerated. So yeah, if I do some fasting, some bone broths because the amino acids are really great for healing gut lining. And like I said, I just got to get into my shop, do some muscle testing, see what my body tells me it needs, and then just be smart enough to listen. So there were a few people who jumped on here and there. I think I kind of said what I came on to say. If you end up watching the replay of the recap, is Nurse Tanya, the ugly truth, the literally I look like I feel. I got on tonight kind of so I can go back and watch this myself when I think it's okay to eat gluten and dairy again, and I can remember how terrible I felt today and the last couple of days, and how there is absolutely nobody to blame but myself. Like, I know better. So, in everything, practicing what I preach, it is a constant walk. It's a constant walk, trying to do better all the time, trying to do better. And this is Nurse Tanya over and out with the ugly truth. Yes, and I totally, if you if you want to put up with me and come experiment with your health and your body and let me coach you through those experiments, that I'd love that. I'm taking new clients, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to give you diagnoses, but I'll try to help you manage your symptoms. I'll try to help you listen to your body and find some self-discipline. But that's the hardest part, the self-discipline. And, we have to take responsibility for ourselves being the common denominator. When we're sick and everybody wants to blame stuff on this and that and your genetics and your grandma and everything else. No, you, my friend, me, Nurse Tanya, you are the problem. So when things go wrong, I have to accept that. I have to digest it. I have to figure it out and move on. When things go right, like, prior to this, I've been feeling so good. And then, too good. You feel too good and you forget. You forget you got to keep the process to keep the reward. So, good night.